Welcome to this week's Study Saturday video here at the International Yankee English. If it's your first time on my channel, welcome. I post 5-minute English videos every Saturday, and on some Mondays I will post more on Monday where I include some extra information or more in-depth lessons, sometimes related to the Saturday video and sometimes unrelated. So you can check my last video on Monday. There I looked at the detailed information for affect and affect, the first confusing word pair that was highlighted in my two-part video, the top 10 confusing word pairs in English. I'm so glad to have you here. Please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel to continue getting more content on the English language. Today's video is about the top 5 mistakes that native English speakers make. Let's begin. Number 5. Coming in at number 5 today is mixing up adjectives and adverbs. I plan to make a more on Monday video on this topic pretty soon, so make sure to stay tuned to my channel to see this lesson given in more detail. So, what are adjectives? Adjectives are descriptions of nouns. A noun is basically a person, a place, or a thing. For example, if you have the phrase red rose, the rose is your noun and red is your adjective. So it's describing the rose. The rose is red. An adverb is a noun or a phrase that modifies an adjective, verb, or other adverb. Often adverbs will end with ly, L-Y. For example, she learns quickly. The way in which she learns is quick. So quickly is your adverb. It explains how she learns. And learn is a verb. So don't say, he speaks English very good. Say, he speaks English very well. Well describes the way in which he speaks English. Use the adverb well instead of the adjective good because speaks is a verb and you cannot use the adjective to describe the verb. You use the adjective to describe the noun. So these little details that seem unimportant when you first begin to learn English sometimes become important. So if you want to use the word well or good to describe the way in which he speaks English, you can say the sentence we just said, he speaks English very well, or if you change the word order, you could use the word good. For example, he speaks really good English. That is okay because English here is a noun, and the way in which he speaks English, good, is perfectly suitable since you can use an adjective to describe a noun. Number 4. Number 4, your and their. This one is pretty straightforward, so this will be a quick description. Unfortunately, despite this being simple, many people don't take the time to learn this properly, including, yes, native speakers. So let's get this one straight, once and for all. Your and their, spelled T-H-E-I-R, means it belongs to you or it belongs to them. For example, that is your book, or that is their child. Belongs to you, belongs to them. Your or their with the apostrophe R-E means you are and or they are. It's a contraction of those two words put together. So for example, you're a kind person. They're kind people. And then we have their, spelled T-H-E-R-E, and that is a location. That means there, in a certain place. For example, I left my book over there. Number 3. Number 3, confusing the past form with the past participle of irregular verbs. For example, Don't say, I should have went to the concert. Say, I should have gone to the concert. If you are confused by grammar tenses, check out my video on grammar tenses. I'll leave a link in the description box. If you're interested in some videos on the use of irregular verbs, I wrote over half of a comprehensive grammar exercise book on this matter, focused solely on verbs. So I will leave a link to that grammar exercise book in the description box. I would love it if you would consider getting a copy for yourself. But if you also want some more videos or content specifically on any subjects with verbs, just let me know in the comment section and I will post more videos on that. Number two, fewer or less. Fewer is used for countable nouns, so nouns that could be counted, and less is used for non-countable nouns. That means nouns that cannot be counted. If you need a refresher on what nouns are, rewind the video and go back to number 5. So, an example. John read fewer books than Mary last year. That means John read perhaps 3 books last year. Mary read 7 books. You can count the number of books that each person has read. Therefore, you use fewer. Books in this sentence is a countable noun. But if we use a non-countable noun, then we have an issue. We need to change fewer to less. Example. John has less authority than Mary. You can't count the number of authority that John has. So you use less. That means there is not as much. There is less. Let me know in the comments if you're struggling with this one and you want me to make a more comprehensive video with some exercises and more examples. Number 1. And now, finally, number 1. This one trips up native and non-native speakers alike. It is something that I come across very often, even when I'm editing professional writing or academic dissertations or academic scholarly articles that are just being checked for very small tweaks in language. It happens all the time to writers of all calibers, both native and non-native. And this is subject-verb agreement. For example, every one of the international Yankee English videos are great. Was that sentence correct or incorrect? It's actually wrong. I know, that sounds wrong for me to say it's wrong. I said videos, so obviously the verb that follows has to be are for plural, right? Well, think again. So even though you are tempted to use the plural form of to be because videos directly precedes the verb to be, you want to say are instead of is. We are not referring to videos. We start the sentence with every one of the international Yankee English videos. Therefore, to be is connected to every one, not to videos. So it should be every one of the international Yankee English videos is great, not are great. This is something you can get away with in spoken English. It goes by unnoticed very often, but in written English, it gets confusing, especially if it is in a really detailed paragraph and there's a lot of information. That's usually what causes the mistake in the first place, is that writers are writing on such complex topics and they're including so many elements in their sentences. They become so complex that even a native advanced writer will come up with this kind of a sentence and not realize that they have made a basic grammar mistake. So it's important to really look at your writing and proofread and edit it sometime after you have written it, so you have some space. I definitely want to make a more comprehensive lesson on this topic. If you are interested in it, then please make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications so you can be notified when I do upload that video. So that is it for today, the top 5 mistakes that native English speakers make. I intend on making a top 5 video next week for the top 5 mistakes that ESL speakers make, non-native English speakers, so please stay tuned for that. Make sure to like and comment on this video if you enjoyed it. I always love getting feedback and hearing from my viewers. And of course, if you know anyone that's interested in these kinds of videos, please share the content with them. I hope you guys enjoyed this and that you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you either on Monday for More on Monday or next Saturday for Study Saturday. Bye!